So, acupuncture for fertility. It's a huge topic, right? And it brings up a ton of questions. In this explainer, we're going to break it all down. The philosophy, the process, and the core ideas behind why this ancient practice is being used to support modern reproductive health.
So, what really goes on in a fertility acupuncture visit? I mean, is it just about needles and some nice, calming music? We're going to walk you through the entire experience, from the moment you step into the clinic to the fundamental principles that actually guide the whole treatment.
Okay, let's kick things off with your very first visit. And right away, you should know it's not some one-size-fits-all experience. It's totally tailored to what you need and, how deep you really want to go in optimizing your health. So, when you first go in, you basically have two main options. The first is a real deep dive fertility program. This is where you have a super in-depth conversation and assessment, and the practitioner builds out this whole personalized plan for you, covering things like nutrition, lifestyle, you name it. The other path is for those of you who already feel pretty good about your plan and just want to add acupuncture into the mix. That's a much shorter intake, and you can get started with treatment that very same day. It all comes down to what you're looking for. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Follow-up visits, they're not some cookie-cutter plan. They're super adaptive. Every session kicks off with a check-in to see where you are in your cycle. That lets the practitioner strategize and tweak the treatment for that specific day. Then you get about 20 to 30 minutes to just rest and let the treatment do its thing, which makes the whole process really responsive to what your body needs right then and there. And here's something super important to remember. The benefits don't just stop when you walk out the door. The whole goal is to keep that improved circulation and those lower stress hormones going for as long as possible. It's all about hanging on to that calm. So maybe don't schedule a super stressful meeting right after your session. And that idea of protecting your calm state, it actually leads us right into the core philosophy behind all of this, which you'll see goes way beyond just where you put the needles. It's a totally different way of looking at how the body works. Okay, this slide perfectly shows the huge difference in thinking. Let's take something like tennis elbow. A typical symptom-based fix might just focus on the elbow, right where it hurts. But a holistic diagnosis, that's about looking at the entire system, the whole body, to figure out the root connection that's causing that pain in the first place. It's all about finding the why behind the what. And that really gets to the heart of what we're talking about here. Traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM, isn't just one technique. It's a complete medical system. Practitioners are actually making a diagnosis, looking at your body as this one interconnected whole to find the real root of the problem, instead of just chasing symptoms. And honestly, if you take away one thing, let it be this quote: "A healthy body is a fertile body." This says it all. The goal isn't to narrowly focus on one single outcome. It's to improve the health of your entire system, with the understanding that fertility is just a natural result of being truly healthy. So if the whole point is creating a healthy body, well, it makes total sense that this isn't just about trying to get pregnant, right? This approach applies to a whole range of women's health issues. And that's exactly why you'll see practitioners working on a whole range of things beyond fertility, from PCOS and endometriosis to just really painful periods. For instance, the very same approach that aims to decrease inflammation for someone with endometriosis can also improve the uterine environment to help with implantation. It's all about fixing the underlying dysfunction. That's the connection I think a lot of us don't make. The same core hormonal issue might show up as trouble conceiving for one person, but for someone else, it could be painful periods or hormonal acne. Since the approach is designed to help the whole system, it can have benefits across all these things that seem totally separate.
So, when you start looking at it this way, it's a total mindset shift. We're moving from one way of thinking about our bodies to a completely different one, from managing disease to actually building health. And what's really cool is that we're seeing this shift happen in real time. It used to be that many people would come to acupuncture as a sort of last hope after they'd tried everything else. But now, more and more people are coming in early because they want to be proactive and really understand and optimize their bodies before a big problem ever starts. Which brings us to this incredibly powerful idea. It's about shifting from disease management, which is basically waiting for something to break and then trying to fix it, to true healthcare, which is the active, ongoing process of building and maintaining a healthy system. And this way of thinking really challenges something that I know is a huge frustration for so many people. In a lot of conventional paths, you sometimes have to fail first, like not getting pregnant for a whole year before you can even get certain tests.
This proactive approach is all about getting data from your own body early on, so you can make informed choices instead of having to wait for a problem to become official. Okay, so what does this new way forward actually look like in practice? How do you apply this fine-tuned approach to those little issues that often get ignored? I love this analogy because it just makes so much sense. For a really big problem, yeah, maybe you need a sledgehammer. But for more subtle things, like maybe a luteal phase that's a little too short, which can happen because of chronic stress, a sledgehammer is just way too much. What you need is a fine tune, that consistent, gentle support that helps your body find its balance again. And the most amazing part? Modern science is really starting to catch up and show us why this works. New research is literally mapping out how our ovaries are wired into our nervous system, showing that they are incredibly responsive to signals from our entire body, from stress to inflammation. They're not just these isolated baby-making machines. They're part of a deeply interconnected system. And the goal is to support that whole system by calming things down and helping regulate those key hormonal pathways. So, to wrap things up, we want to leave you with a big question to think about for yourself. Are you managing disease or are you building health? It's a really powerful difference. That's all for this explainer. Thanks for watching.